Yes, Brian.
How you doing, my brothers?
All good. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. All I have to say is I'm glad Ryan Isaacs has calmed down and is only going for rioting, because trust me, I've seen a lot worse being messaged to me.
Any spoilers?
None that I'm going to say live on air, no.
Fair enough. But how are you feeling about this whole situation? If you're Daniel Levy and if you're Daniel Levy, I just think about what I just said.
I pour gasoline on my shit.
If you are the chairman of Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane is not signing a contract, and a 120 million euro bid comes in. Are you accepting that?
120. I'm afraid you're going to have to say. I'm afraid I'd say yes. I'm afraid, not because I want to. I want him to stay. I want him to sign a contract. But we've got to face facts. That kind of money you can't turn down. And the very fact that he could walk away to a Premier League team for free next year, it's just, we're talking huge amounts of money. Huge amounts of money. And obviously, do you know what? Harry Kane hasn't come out like Manchester City and made his desire as clear as what it has been a couple of years ago. But I think we can all read between the lines and see that there's something he wants to try and do and try and accomplish and win a trophy. And who are we to stand in his way when he's given us 9-10 years of incredible service? When he came into the squad and broke into the first team, it was like we'd received manna from heaven.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we had this gift given to us. We had this elite striker who had been on loan several places, had worked and worked and worked to perfect his craft, has done it to an exceptional level, and we haven't done what we should do with this incredible gift that was right on our doorstep, right through the academy. And yeah, if 120 came in, I'm afraid I would be saying, off you go, mate. Thanks for everything. If you want to go, we hit the number. We've hit it. Off you go.
What would your reaction be if Levy turned around and rejected that offer?
Oh, mate, do you know what? I'm kind of like with Ben. Like it's mixed emotion. He's put himself in this position. He's put himself in this position where he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. This is what he's done to himself. It's either you take this money and then obviously it's, does he invest in it correctly? Do we use it to build the team, or does he put it in his skyrocket and then just do what we've done and just not use it? But can you run the risk of letting him walk for nothing? I mean, it's a bold move. I mean, I think hearing him say, "I'm open to staying and signing a contract if things go well," as nice as that sounds, to me, it's, if I don't go, I'm walking out, and that's the easy thing to say. And I can't blame him. Listen, I cannot, in none of this whatsoever, do I blame Harry Kane. Harry Kane leaves this summer, off you go. And like you said, please God, Bayern Munich get drawn against Arsenal, smash 5-1 home and away, and Kane gets all 10. And if he stays, unfortunately, he's going to walk off on a free. And again, as long as it's not to a London club like Chelsea or the Field, off you go. You deserve it. So none of this is on Harry Kane. None of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's only one place to look when you're looking at the blame for a player like Harry Kane, proper Roy of the Rovers stuff, coming through the academy, becoming the best player, close to the best player in the world, best striker in the world, whatever way you want to look at it. Tottenham's highest goal scorer of all time, the best player we've ever seen in a Spurs shirt.
Yep.
There's only one place to look, right, for blame.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if we want to talk about things like that, Ben, let's have a look at it. You can also add most goals in a calendar year, beating Messi's, beating Shearer's record. Messi, calm down. Then you look at most hat tricks in a season. Then you look at most assists and most goals in a season. The records this man has broken, the things this man has accomplished, and to do it like Simeon said, when you mentioned the positions we've had over the last 4 years and the managers we've gone through, the way we haven't utilised this magnificent player we've had is criminal. Is absolutely criminal and unforgivable.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is nowhere else to look. And listen, people say, "Oh, Brian, it's a Levy bash." There is nowhere to look. There is nowhere else to look on this one. I'm afraid we had times where we could have pushed on. We went 500 days without signing a player. We could have pushed on. We didn't get the players. We got the cheaper options. We could have pushed on. Something happened, and that's not Harry Kane's fault. That's not Tottenham Hotspur fans' fault. That's not Tottenham Hotspur manager's fault. It's solely at one man.
So let's say we get the 100 million for Harry Kane. What would you spend it on, and what would be like the acceptable? Like, do we have to spend all of that this window? Is that the only acceptable course of action? Is it? Can we use some of it for future windows? What's your not prediction? But what would you do? What would you find acceptable?
Well, you look at it here. I think if he goes, there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever why Tapsoba isn't in this door immediately. Absolutely none. Because if you're saying you can't raise the money, then you've got X, Y, Z amount of money, and you got Tosin in and Phillips. Listen, I want Ashley Phillips. I think Ashley Phillips is a terrific prospect for the future, but it's all on that word, future. There is no excuse not to bring in Tapsoba. Absolutely none, especially like Liverpool did when they had the Coutinho money. They were like, right, we need an elite keeper, we need an elite defender. They did it. There's no excuse for not bringing in Tapsoba. I don't know much about this gift Orban. I think we do need cover as a striker, but I think it's more important that we get Tapsoba in. And listen, if we have to sit back and go, right, let's get in the defender and sort out the defence out, and let's do something that this club never does, and plan to get the striker in, and take time to properly identify the correct one, then I'm kind of fine with that. But there's no excuse not to bring in Tapsoba. Absolutely none. I don't think we should spend it all just for the sake of spending it. We need to, like Ben said as well, we're going down this data-driven thing. Use this 6 months to analyse the data in the areas you need to sort out. But the clear thing is, we need to sort out that defence. And I heard Ben say we're stepping up for Gift Orban. Are we stepping up to monitoring the situation? Or are we stepping up to flirting with an offer?
Not that far. Jeez, Brian, calm down. Not that far.
Oh, sorry, my bad. my bad. I got excited. I'll take that back.
We got to assess the situation first, then we can start monitoring.
Exactly.
There we go. That's the one. Let's assess.
Brian, with the Kane money, you wouldn't necessarily sign a striker for big money who's like who's going to be our new #1 striker. You'd be happier to just sign something like a Gift Orban or someone with a bit more potential who can maybe play backup to Richarlison.
Put it this way, Sim, even if it wasn't that, we've got Richarlison, as people have said and as you guys said, in the Ange Postecoglou setup. That central striker role is what he does, isn't it? The closing down, the hard work rate, everything. That is Richarlison. Do I think with the forwards we've got, when you add Maddison supplying them, we've got enough to get us through to January and focus on getting that defence absolutely solid? Yes, I do. Do I think we can go without bringing in Tapsoba and then spending more money on a striker? No, I don't. I think the defence has been the main issue. It still is the main issue. Listen, great about Van der Ven. Great deal. So finally, after my man Jan Vertonghen, we can say the left centre-back role has been filled with what looks like an exceptional talent. With potential, pace for playing the high line, that's all gravy. But if he or Romero pick up an injury or a suspension, we're back to Dyer, Davey, Sanchez, if they're still here. So I think another defender of the class of Tapsoba is what we have to do with this money if this all goes through.
Would you be happy with, let's say, a Van der Ven and just a Tosin coming in by now until the end of the window? Would that alleviate your nerves?
With Kane, put it this way: if Kane stayed, yes. If he goes, no.
So it has to be someone of Tapsoba's quality.
I'm a fan of Tosin. Yeah, for sure. For me, if you've got that amount of money coming in, I understand I don't understand right now, but if the excuse is, we need to buy to sell or get Deadwood out because of the squad being too bloated, well, you get the best part of £100 million coming in. There's no excuse not to bring in Tapsoba. There's none. So if Kane is still here, I will be perfectly happy with Tosin. Perfectly happy with him. And Phillips, because I think Phillips, like I said, is going to happen either way. But if Kane goes and Tapsoba's not in, then it's ridiculous.
What if we would sign replace Kane with say a Vlahovic or something for big money and not bring a Tapsoba in? Would that be an acceptable situation, or would you not be happy with that?
Not really. I mean, Vlahovic, from what I remember when we were trying to get him the other window, he wanted 300 grand and be above Kane's pay with one good season for Fiorentina. So I don't see that as a viable deal. I just don't. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great striker, but again, if you look at our midfield and forward line, I'm quite optimistic with what we can achieve with or without Kane. You look at that defence, and yes, Van der Ven has come in and definitely made a difference and will make a difference. Do I think he solves everything in that defensive issues? No, I don't. But you don't, like I said, he is a great addition, but he needs more. So no, I wouldn't be happy. I'd rather the money went on a defender than any big money on someone like Vlahovic.
All right, Brian, it could be a very emotional day. What's your prediction? Do you think by the end of today they will have a deal agreed?
Yes, unfortunately, I do. Unfortunately, I do. And then, like I said, not this Sunday, because this Sunday is solely about match day prices. But next, Manchester United, hell and brimstone opposite the club shop if he's gone. But I do expect him to be gone. It may not be this evening, but I expect way before Shakhtar will have an announcement that the deal's been agreed.
And how would you like them to honour Kane in terms of his exit? How do you like to? Would you like to see him announced to the crowd, maybe at Shakhtar? What would you like to see?
Well, I remember. I mean, obviously, Kane is a league above him when it comes to this. I was at Jermaine Defoe's farewell when he was going off to Toronto, and he came on the pitch and did a farewell. I think him and Lloris both deserve that. Both deserve it. I think they both been terrific servants, and just finishing with you got to remember our last game of the season was away, and Lloris's was at Newcastle. Obviously, we know what happened there. I think they both deserve to say a goodbye and be fondly applauded for their efforts and their service. So I would think that would be the most appropriate way to do it. But then a statue paid and grieves Nicholson.
All right, Brian, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. Hopefully next time we speak to you, it won't be depressing, but we'll see what happens. Big up, Brian.
No worries. And as always, Levy out.